Once, I believed. I believed as all faithful men believe, quietly, completely, without question.
Tell a story.
I looked upon the Erdtree and saw divinity. I looked upon the light of grace and saw mercy. I listened to the fingers and heard not the twitching of old flesh, but the will of heaven itself. I believed that order was sacred, that law was holy, that gold was truth. And like every fool born beneath a radiant lie, I mistook brightness for wisdom. The greater will. The name is spoken with such trembling reverence, such obedient fear, as though to utter it is to brush against the mind of creation. It is named the architect of order, the father of law, the hand beyond the stars. And yet, what kind of God demands so much silence from those who serve it? Now I see what lies beneath the gold, beneath the sermons, beneath the hymns, beneath the roots of the Erdtree itself.
Soon,
Rot, silence,
demigods,
fear, and an eye that never closes. Look upon it, the Erdtree, the shining axis of the lands between, the pillar by which all meaning is measured. Every road bends towards it, every prayer rises towards it, every lie is sheltered beneath its light. It stands so tall, so radiant, that men do not think to question it. That is the first miracle of false gods. Not that they are worshipped, but that their worship seems inevitable. The Golden Order teaches that grace is guidance, that to be touched by it is blessing, that to follow its light is to walk in harmony with the law of the world. And perhaps once I too found comfort in that thought. To surrender doubt, to kneel, to accept that the path had already been written. How easy faith becomes when it demands no courage. But tell me this, Tarnished. If grace is guidance, why does it abandon so many? If the Golden Order is perfect, why is this world littered with the broken? If the greater will loves its children, why must so many be cast aside so that its chosen few may gleam? The symbols of the Order are everywhere. The Erdtree seal, the golden incantations, the talismans of the fingers. Each relic whispers the same command beneath softer words.
The all-knowing!
Submit. Do not look beyond the light. The Two Fingers heirloom promises strength in faith. The sacred seals promise communion through obedience. The maidens speak of grace as if it were tenderness. But grace does not ask, it selects. Grace does not heal all, it favors. Grace does not enlighten, it directs. And any truth that may only be reached by kneeling is no truth at all. There was a time I preached their words. Yes, even I. I stood where the faithful stand now. I recited the old assurances. I lifted my voice and told frightened men that the Order was just. I told them suffering had purpose. I told them exile had meaning. I told them the silence of the heavens was not silence, but patience. And in return, I was rewarded with certainty. Not truth. Certainty. There is a difference. Truth survives the wound of questioning. Certainty does not. The first crack in my faith did not come from blasphemy. It did not come from rebellion. It did not come from the flame. It came from looking too long at the world the Order had made, at the tarnished, denied grace, at the omens buried in chains, at the Albinaurics hunted like beasts, at the dead piled high beneath a tree that preached abundance. I began to understand that order, when worshipped without mercy, becomes cruelty with a halo. This is the world built beneath the greater will. A world where children are cursed at birth and hidden below the earth. A world where malformed lives are discarded to preserve the illusion of divine beauty. A world where war is sanctified if it is fought in gold. The nobles wander like ghosts. The knights cling to ruined vows. The demigods tear the land apart in the aftermath of a broken inheritance. And still the faithful say, the Order remains holy. Holy? No. It is merely old. And men mistake old wounds for sacred scars. They say the greater will sent the Elden Beast as its vassal, its living law, its divine envoy. Think on that. A beast. Not a teacher, not a healer, not a shepherd. A beast. What kind of divine order must be guarded by something so alien that it cannot persuade, only enforce? What kind of heaven arrives in the shape of conquest? No, Tarnished. This was never a covenant freely embraced. It was structure imposed upon flesh, meaning nailed into the bones of a frightened world. I kept my doubts hidden at first. I told no one. Not the faithful, not the maidens, not the old women who read the twitching language of dead fingers and called it wisdom. I prayed harder. That is what frightened men do when their faith begins to bleed. They pray harder. They call their fear devotion and hope that heaven will reward the performance. So I knelt. I fasted. I sought signs. And for a time, I thought I heard them. But the more honestly I questioned, the quieter the world became. The answers stopped. The warmth faded. And at last I understood the oldest rule of false religion. The fingers do not speak to those who think. The moment doubt becomes visible, the faithful give it a new name. Heresy, madness, corruption. They cannot answer the question, so they condemn the one who asks it. And so I was named dangerous. Not because I had found falsehood, but because falsehood fears being found. They cast me out from the comfort of gold, away from sermons, away from sanctified halls, away from the gentle prison of grace. And in exile, I heard something else. Not the voice of order, not the speech of law, not the hollow twitching of fingers pretending to hear the heavens. No, this voice did not comfort. It did not flatter. It did not promise rank, salvation, or divine favor. It only revealed. And revelation is always mistaken for cruelty by those who profit from illusion. They call it madness, the frenzied flame, the yellow fire, the howling eye beneath reason. But tell me, what is madness? Is madness the refusal to kneel? Is madness the sight of a world so broken that no gentle lie can hide it? Or is madness the condition of those who live in chains so long that they begin to call the chains holy? The flame does not gild, it strips. It does not decorate suffering with purpose. It does not tell the abandoned that their abandonment was necessary. It does not divide the world into chosen and unchosen, pure and impure, worthy and forgotten. It burns through every distinction men use to justify cruelty. To the flame, throne and gutter are equal. God and beggar are equal. Blessed and cursed are equal. All pretense ends in ash. That is why they fear it. The first time the flame touched my thoughts, I recoiled. Do not mistake me. I did not welcome it as one welcomes a friend. I felt it like a blade of heat drawn slowly behind the eyes. I saw the Erdtree not as symbol, but as structure, a towering command, a radiant cage. I saw grace not as tenderness, but as selection. I saw the world's wounds not as tragic accidents, but as the natural harvest of a system built on exclusion. And I wept. Not because the vision was false, but because it was true. There is a loneliness that follows revelation. Once you have seen the lie, you cannot return to the comfort of believing it. You may mimic the old prayers. You may stand in the old light. You may even try, for a time, to bury what you know. But truth, once lodged in the soul, does not sleep. It scratches, it whispers, it demands. This is the burden they call madness. Not the loss of reason, but the inability to unknow. So hear me now, tarnished. The greater will is no loving shepherd. It is no kindly father watching over a wounded world. It is a distant authority, worshipped because men fear emptiness more than chains. Its order is bought with exclusion. Its beauty is preserved through burial. Its grace is bestowed through hierarchy. And every system that calls some sacred by first declaring others disposable is built on blasphemy. I have seen the stars blink in shame. I have seen roots feeding on what the sermons refuse to name. I have seen men pray beneath gold while the buried scream beneath them. And still they call this divine. Still they kneel. Still they beg for grace. Grace? Grace is a leash. Grace is the light that teaches slaves to adore the hand that guides them. Grace is the language of selection spoken sweetly enough that the rejected believe their suffering must have meaning. Cut it. Do you hear me, tarnished? Cut it! Tear the gold from your eyes. Let the lie die streaming in the light it worships. No order built on fear can stand forever. No tree, however radiant, can hide what festers at its roots. The golden order weakens. Its saints rot. Its kings fail. Its chosen butcher one another across a dying land. And beneath it all, something waits. A truth buried not because it is false, but because it is unbearable. I have heard it. I have felt its warmth behind the veil of gold. And soon, I will show you where it sleeps. Beneath the Erdtree, beneath the capital, beneath the lies. Walk without grace. Question every light that asks for your obedience. And when next I speak, I will speak of the eye,
Greetings,
the buried flame,
traveler,
the truth
from beyond
beneath the
fog.
roots.
I am Melina,